Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is I, Kat Vlahovic, back again with another video. So it's been a while since I've been in this current setup. If you are a OG watcher, you know that I used to film on the floor of my room in this corner like all through 2024, 2020, maybe a little bit of 2023. I'm sitting in front of a mood board that I actually made when I think 2024. I still feel like I am embodying these exact vibes. I feel like sitting in front of my old mood board is just so fitting for the video that we are going to do today. And what I want to talk about today is 5 lessons that I've learned in 2025. I've just been doing like so much reflecting lately, as what most people do during this time around the holidays. I really feel like 2025 help set like the foundation of what I want 2026 to look like. I think definitely within this past year I've been so career driven and like so focused on work, trying to get into like a new routine, trying to understand like what my purpose in life really is. Every time I try to think about what happened in the past year, I honestly just black out. I feel like 2025 was not easy at all. Just so many thoughts going on. You know what? Let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. So, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe. Please leave a like and leave a comment. I love replying to all your guys' comments. It's also been a while since we've been in a horizontal format. I've been really into posting on YouTube Shorts lately, but I do miss just like chit-chatting on the camera and like having like these type of discussions underneath my videos. So if you like seeing more videos like this, please let me know. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And without further ado, let's get into the video. I decided that I was going to reflect on 5 lessons that I've learned within the year. Lesson number 1 is the key to getting what you want is getting so specific about it. I feel like this year I've been so focused on my day to day. It wasn't even just like my day to day, I was just like so focused on going to work. I feel like if you know me, you know kind of like my relationship with work. I was a student athlete my whole life. I like never really like worked a full-time job. So it was a really big adjustment for me to work a full-time job. Like, I don't know really how else to describe it. I started taking my career very seriously, and I just like realized that I'm like doing nothing except working. I'm still like filming videos and whatnot, but like I just found myself being like kind of depressed because like I didn't really have too much balance. And so I would have like these freak out moments where I didn't know like what I was even like working so hard for. And it wasn't until I started going to therapy where my therapist, she started explaining to me that I need to like reflect on my future self, but then also just like realign myself with like what my long-term goals are. Being a high performance athlete, like don't get me wrong, like I know how to like goal set, and like I've always known what it means to like have long-term goals, but like in this aspect I didn't know. I feel like being an adult, I'm like making all these like big decisions that I just have like decision fatigue, and like I didn't know anything. Like all I knew was that I'm just going to work tomorrow, and that just like caused me to be like really depressed. And so with that being said, I just like learned like a manifestation technique, which is basically like figuring out what you want in life and just getting so specific about it to the T. Like, what is your day to day gonna look like? What are you gonna be doing? What are you gonna be wearing? What does it feel like? And I feel like that has helped me a lot, because once I became so specific about what it is that I want out of life, and I'm still kind of like working through that and like figuring it out. getting like really refining what it is that I want and reflecting on it really helped me make better decisions in my current day-to-day life in order to like align myself with what I wanted. I would just get like so caught up in the routine of like going to work, and I'm like working so hard. I come home and I'm just like, why am I working so hard for? What am I saving my money for? Like what am I doing this all for? So like in 2025 it was basically like a reset of just learning how to make smart. Okay, lesson number 2, the power of keeping promises to yourself. There was a point in 2025 where I felt like I don't even know who I was anymore. I felt like I couldn't do anything. I've never felt these things before. But in 2025, I feel like I just kind of like lost my ability to have confidence in doing things. I felt like I just like couldn't trust my voice. I stopped having the ability to like make decisions, whether it was big decisions, small decisions, and it started to get like really scary because when we're just like talking about like very small things like what am I gonna eat? What am I gonna purchase? What am I gonna buy? What am I gonna make for breakfast? Like just doing things like that. I couldn't decide. I couldn't figure it out, and like it would cause me so much stress. I learned that it was because I wasn't keeping promises to myself. A consistent like saying I'm gonna do something and then I don't do it. It started to cause me to not be familiar with who I was looking at in the mirror. Because I feel like I would say I would do things and then I wouldn't do it. I would change my mind, or like I would just be like too tired and like I couldn't get myself to actually like follow through with the task that I want to do. It like really affected like everything with my mental health and my sense of identity. I was just like caught in that habit of not following through with what I said I was going to do, and then eventually I found myself to the point where like my brain was in a really messed up space, and it wasn't until I started seeing my therapist. Like my therapist helped me realize this, and I'm like so thankful for her. Now I'm in a phase where I feel like trying to count small wins. I'm trying to like build myself up again to be in a spot where I feel like I can trust my voice and I can trust what my body's telling me, because in 2025 I kind of lost that sense of self, which like sounds really dramatic. I feel like these things can happen to anyone. You just have to like take care of yourself. Like you have to like be really careful with the habits that you subconsciously create. I don't know if I'm making sense, but the power of keeping promises to yourself. Okay, this one I actually learned in a book I read a few years ago. And the third lesson that I learned is your best work doesn't have to be premeditated or thought out. Your best work can come from a spontaneous burst of energy, off of 3 hours of sleep, off of 5 days of planning, off of 1 day of planning, off of a 2 second impulsive thought. What matters is that the idea came to you and that you brought it to life. Initially, I read about this in Rick Rubin's book, but then like as I was like going through life and like watching interviews and like going on YouTube and like listening to other highly creative people talk, and they all say like the same thing. Like I mentioned earlier, how I was just like grinding at my day job, and when I would come home, I would be like so insanely tired because I'm like on my feet all day. I'm talking to people all day. Sometimes I would feel really discouraged to want to do any of my hobbies, or like film a video or edit a video, or just like anything that involves like nurturing an idea that I have. I always felt like I needed to be like full of energy and well rested and recharged, but like that is literally not the case. You can make your best work with no energy and with no social battery. And what matters is that it came from you and you're putting it out into the world. In Rick Rubin's book, the idea basically is that the idea that comes into your brain comes from the universe, and your body is like a vessel to help it manifest into the real world. If you don't do your due diligence to let the idea come to life, it's just gonna go into another person, and then the other person will hopefully help manifest the idea into real life. Learned this lesson this past year because near the end of the year, I just decided that, like, even if I'm tired, I'm still just gonna show up, and it doesn't matter if I'm tired, like, the work is still good. Just because you're tired, it doesn't like showcase the quality of what your work is. And yeah, like, who cares if you're tired? Cuz I felt like I would be so frozen and I would make no progress towards like my dreams or my goals, because I always felt like me being tired was just in the way. But none of that matters. None of that matters. As long as it came from you. Okay, moving on to lesson number 4. That is, conflict brings people closer together. And I feel like conflict, even in like my adult life, I'm still trying to like understand and figure out and like use my discernment. But like, to just like really paint the picture for me personally, the way that I grew up, when my family and I experienced conflict, the conflict would happen, and then we won't talk about it to smooth things over, and like the next day we would just talk to each other like nothing happened, and I would like and I would remember like feeling anxious about like what just happened, and like no conversation would happen in order to like smooth things over. And so that in my adult life and like my teenage life, I feel like it really affected me when it came to like my relationships and my friendships, because I really just like didn't know how to handle conflict. And I still feel like it's like a skill that I'm trying to like learn and refine, because growing up, I feel like when conflict would happen, there would only ever be one right answer. And if people wronged us, it's so deep and hurtful, and there's only one right answer, and the only other solution was to cut that person off or to distance yourself. And just like going through life with my own experiences, I realized that relationships are way, way, way more complicated than that. And it's so possible and it's so realistic for you to be hurt by someone that you really love, but you can still grow and forgive and forget. You and another person can be hurt by something, but like you grow together and you move on and you move forward and you don't make those like same mistakes again. And like, even depending on the mistake, obviously, but like if you make those mistakes again, like you're like having this like mutual understanding. Like, conflict is supposed to bring people together because you're supposed to like reset these boundaries, and like you know the boundaries of like one another and you respect them, and like it just like creates room for more for love to like fill in those gaps. And I feel like when I was younger, and even a little bit now, not so much, but I would always be holding grudges, and I would never forgive, and I would never forget. And like, if someone did me wrong, like in college or in high school, like I would usually just be like, F them, like I'm never gonna talk to them again. And like, it's hate, it's always hate. But holding that negative energy just ages you. It fully just like ages you. And that's something that like I fully feel like I learned in 2025, is that like you can forgive, you can forget, and like you can still have good relationships with people like regardless. And like having those like really hard conversations and like being open and honest and transparent about how you're feeling is totally okay. And they can be so scary. Like, every time I've like had a conversation with anyone in my life the past year, it's been worth it every time. So I feel like as the years go by, I'm getting better and better with dealing with conflict, and I'm becoming less of a crash out. Yay! Last lesson that I want to talk about, our fifth lesson, is you're not too old for anything. I realized within the past year, I don't want to be scared of growing old, and I don't want to be scared of my age. Like, that's not something that I want to have or to continue feeling. Like, I want to be okay and I want to accept how old I am. And like, this is in fact the youngest that I'm ever going to be. Like, every day I'm getting older. I feel like stressing about how old I am just ages me even more. And like, just even like at my job, I'm like seeing and meeting and experiencing so many people throughout the day that I feel like I have a really good glimpse of what society is, because I'm like with the public every day at work. I'm like fully out and about with the public. I would meet all sorts of people, and 9.5 out of 10 times when I'm talking and meeting like a more mature and like older woman, most of the time she's like very concerned about her age, or she won't want to wear something because she labels it as, oh, I'm like too old, I can't wear that. Maybe it's easier for me to say because I'm like in my mid 20s, but like I never thought that clothing had like an age range. And it totally makes sense. Like, it totally does. Underage, like 12, and you're wearing like really inappropriate clothing. Like, we're still keeping it appropriate. It would be like an older woman, she doesn't want to wear low-rise pants because she feels like she's too old to wear low-rise pants. And it's like, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Or she's like, oh, I don't want to wear that color. I'm too old. And it's like, no, 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 please. Like, I literally want to look like you when I'm your age. Like, please, like, it like fully pains me because I see such beautiful people coming into my work, and they're like super awesome. Because like, as a young person, when I see an older, more mature, gorgeous woman, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking like, yes, I want to be exactly like you. When I see older women kind of feeling this way about like their age, and like they feel restricted to the stuff that they can wear and the stuff that they can buy, it makes me sad. And I'm just like, I don't want to be like that. Like, I want to be happy and proud of like who I am and like all the stages of my life. And I just want to like adopt this new like mindset, because like, even being the age that I am now and like seeing my peers and like seeing what other people are saying online, it's just this like random pressure that we feel that we're like running out of time, that we're like getting older and we can't do things anymore because we're older. And it's like, no, no, like, I don't want to subscribe to that. There's absolutely no rush. There's no rush to find the right job. There's no rush to get married. There's no rush to have children. There's no rush to, like, strap yourself down to something. You can be in your prime whenever. Whenever. Like, for example, like, look at Rick Owens. He's like 60 something and he's in the best shape of his life. You don't have to like be in your prime in like your early 20s or like in high school, you know? Like, you can be like older and you can still be the best version of yourself. Like, I want to stop like being in this mindset, or like letting people influence me to think that like I'm running out of time, because like, I'm running out of time for what? For who? For when? For how? Like, I'm never running out of time. Let's like stop being scared of being 30. Let's stop being scared of being older than like 21. Okay, that's enough yapping for me today. But like I said earlier in the video, if you love this video, please subscribe, please leave a comment, please leave a like. It's like so encouraging when people comment. Like, that's my favorite thing. So if you like this video, do all the things that I listed. And thank you guys so much for watching. Big things are gonna happen in 2026. I can feel it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.